Right. Well, I've been going to these poetry events in Warsaw where people read their own poems. Although I usually like singing to people, I got a little bit inspired to read my poems. I actually write poems occasionally. They tend to be rather religious. I hope that doesn't bother people too much. This one's based around the story of the Tower of Babel, which is, of course, well, you can believe it or not, but it's probably one of the oldest accounts we have about how human beings explain the origins of language. So this is a poem, basically, which takes the account of the Tower of Babel. In fact, the beginning of it's almost metrical paraphrase of Genesis 9, but then it goes on, it takes it on from there, with speculatively as to where language went from that point onwards, and you can decide from yourselves whether that reflects or sheds any light on what actually has been happening with languages and might happen in the future. It's basically a poem on the whole history of human language. The earth had once one speech o'er all, one tongue men used to tell. From the east to Shiner's plain they came, and settled there to dwell. Among themselves did they conspire, bricks let us make, said they, to building stones them throughly burn, and slime for mortar lay. Go to, said they, a city great, a tower, to reach the sky. Let us construct unto ourselves our name to magnify. Lest scattered far abroad we be, the whole earth's face around. They built the walls, from bricks they'd baked, and slime from lime they'd found. The Lord looked down on Adam's kin, and saw their undertaking. He knew that left alone this would become mankind's unmaking. Although still in his infancy, not yet 1,000,000 souls, mankind was learning things with which he'd score fatal own goals. Adamic language and long life allowed the human mind to know and build technology, though immature and blind. The Lord said, "See, this people is by language unified. Now can no thing their power restrain, their will to realize. Now let us unto them descend, their language to confound, that each the other's speech and tongue no more may understand." And so the Lord did scatter them o'er all the earth. From thence their city no more could they build. Its name is Babel, hence that there the Lord in mighty power the earth's speech did confound, and he from thence did scatter them, the whole earth's face around. For here the Lord unto each soul his single language giving, ensured that man's wish was to be with but close kindred living. And so each man his nearest took, and from the crowd did flee. They lived alone until they spoke one tongue per family. The mother taught the babies hers. The father also learned it. The elder siblings got to add some features if they earned it. And families at length combined by dint of need to wed. So tribal languages emerged as Babel's tongues went dead. And tribe fought tribe, and strong tribes grew, their tribal tongue promoting, the structures ever simpler, the word stock ever growing. And as they filled the earth and crossed each hill and vale and river, some tribes grew great, and in due course their languages did sever. Through ice and fire and flood and marsh, men walked and faced all dangers, to use all space this world allows, and grow to outnumber angels. And language families emerged, that previously had been one. But once again they could no more grasp one another's tongue. One tribe, the seed of Abraham, in whom all should be blessed, got history and prophecy to cherish for the rest. But man since Babel always sought to get back there again, to build the city, raise the tower, and make himself a name. To make the countries all one state, and into unions bind, and place a ruler over all, as blind will lead the blind. Each man who tasted power's rush soon hatched the grand ambition to subjugate all men to himself as slaves to his volition. But rulership of this world here is but for its creator. It is reserved for Christ our God, and he shall take it later. For only Christ makes all things good. He'll teach us what was missing, and speak to us in tongues of men, while angels throng to listen. And when the resurrection comes and all things be made new, that ancient tongue shall sound again, the one that Adam knew. The lives of men became too short to learn that perfect tongue, but it will be a joy to learn for the forever young. And so when we are healed in heart, bodies and minds restored, again we'll learn that language given to Adam by the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's have another try with this technology.
That was really good. Both the poem and your reading of it. Yes, I'm sorry. I was still. Yeah, no, really good.